Hi everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I figured it would be quite fun to do a book lover's gift guide and to give you guys some recommendations for what to gift the book lovers in your life. You can make some of these things yourself, just at home with things you've got in your own house or flat. We've got a bit for everyone so that you can gift the book lovers in your life presents within your price range. I think the most important part, either way, whether you want to spend less money or more money, is that the present comes from the heart and that it's meaningful. I think the most obvious choice to buy a book lover is a book. It can be quite tricky to actually find, first of all, the right book, but also a book that they don't already own. I know for a fact that family and friends of myself struggle to buy me books unless I'm like specific about like, oh, I wanted this book by this author. A possible option, which I personally think is completely fine, is to give them a gift card from their favourite bookshop. I can see why some people would feel like a gift card to a bookshop or a gift card in general are quite impersonal, but I think if you even want to like make it more personal, you can always like gift them the gift card. Write a little note or something on the side, unless you're with them when they open the present, and just like say, oh, here's a gift card, spend it on whatever books you'd like. But you could also say that you want to make a date out of it, like you can go book shopping together if you're up for that. I always love a trip to the bookstore, so I feel like even if you do want to make like a thing out of it, you can go with them, because in that way you might also have a say in like what books they end up buying. Also means that your friend, family member will actually be able to pick out a book that they really want, and they will have the joy of knowing that you gifted them that book even though you didn't physically buy it yourself and put it in their lap, if that makes sense. If you're lucky enough to know your family member or friend or significant other well enough to actually know a specific book that they want, perfect. Then give them that book and you're set. But again, if you want to take it up a notch and make it a bit more personal, one option would be to personalize the book to the person you're giving it to. I think annotating books have recently become the new aesthetic of especially Bookstagram and also on TikTok. It's not a new thing. People have been annotating their books for ages, but I think the aesthetic of annotating them with highlighters, tabs, whatever you want to add into the books, drawings, whatever, it's become a lot more popular. And I know that annotating books, one, takes a lot of time, and two, it's definitely not for everyone. Probably make sure that whoever you're giving it to is up for getting a book that's drawn in. I personally was for a really long time someone who did not want to draw in or write in my books. I do annotate some books now, so I've become more used to it. I have gifted a friend an annotated book before, so I know that it takes time, but I do think at the end of the day it's a quite lovely gift. You could, for example, gift them your favorite book and you can highlight, underline, tab your favorite parts. I think there's so much you can do to personalize a book to give to someone, and it's a really special gift to get as well. I've been given one of my favorite books annotated by my lovely friend Adele, and it's probably one of my favorite books that I have, not because it's one of my actual favorite books, but because it's been annotated by my friend for me. But yeah, I think if you can add like a special personal touch to the book that you're giving, it makes the gift even more special. So I think if you're up for it, if you've got the time and you know that whoever you're giving the book to would enjoy it, then I think it's definitely something that you should think of doing, because it is quite nice. The next gift option is for those book lovers in your life that are building an extensive book collection or even just a library, and that is a book stamp or a book embosser. You might have seen this on TikTok as well or other places before. There's so many different people that make them. I think most places will either have this book belongs to or from the library of, and then a name. The person you're giving the gift to, put their name in. So I personally have a stamp. You can get different ones depending on what you prefer, what you think your gift receiver would prefer. Mine is from an Etsy shop called Stamp by Me Studio. It's by a couple, I think, that are based in Spain, so depending on where you live in the world, obviously that might not be the best option. If not, go on Google or Etsy and just type in book stamp or book embosser. Personally now, I'd rather have a book embosser because it looks a bit cooler in my opinion, but it's all down to preference of the person you're giving it to really, or even what you think looks the best. Depending on what kind of reader your friend or family member or significant other is, they probably do use bookmarks unless they're, in my opinion, a sociopath who dog-eared their pages. If you do that, please kindly stay 5 feet away from me at all times. I'm only joking. Most likely, the reader in your life will actually get a use out of a bookmark. So I think with this one, you can be quite crafty with it. If you're an artsy person, you can draw something and cut them out into bookmark-sized bookmarks. Or you can even just get paper with like a fun design on it already and cut it into whatever shape you'd like for the bookmark and gift that. Or you can simply buy bookmarks. Every bookshop will have a bookmark. Other shops out there will also have bookmarks. There's also so many great small businesses online or locally probably that sell bookmarks. Personally, one of my favorites is Title Pieces. I might be biased because Vicky, the owner of Title Pieces, is my friend, but Title Pieces is set in Australia, but they ship worldwide, so you can get bookmarks to wherever you live. You'll have a whole range of bookmarks to choose from. If you know of a specific book that's probably quite popular that the reader in your life has read and is a fan of, you can buy them bookmarks based on those books. There's also a range of bookmarks that Vicky has in her shop that are less book specific. There's a whole range of bookmarks, but I do honestly think they are beautiful. I've used her bookmarks for quite a couple of years now and I really enjoy them. She creates bookmarks based on specific books, as I said. Also some that are non-fandom specific, even some that are just not even really book related, but they're a bookmark nonetheless. Other than Title Pieces, I can also recommend bookmarks by Daniela. She's got a small business where she creates bookmarks that look like receipts. If you go over to her Instagram page, Fangirlish Wondering, I'll link her Instagram down below, but I'll also leave the bookmark shop down below if you want to check it out straight away. Daniela makes specific ones that are already ready to print, but she also has some where there's a bit of flexibility with what you want on the bookmarks. Like you can personalize one and create a completely new one specific for the reader in your life. Speaking of small businesses, another thing that a lot of other small businesses do is create jewelry or bookish merch. I'm personally quite a big fan of bookish jewelry. I don't know if any of you were the kind of person who had like a Shadowhunter rune symbol, if you know what the Shadowhunters are. Like the ring from Lord of the Rings, like there's so many different things that were made previously. I feel like bookish jewelry now is back on the scene, but in a more aesthetic way, if that makes sense. I quite like jewelry that hint at being bookish, as in when you just see it, you're like, oh, that's a quite aesthetic piece of jewelry. It's really cute. Where'd you get that? And I was like, oh, I got it from this shop. But also, it's bookish. So it's like, you know that it's hints at something bigger, but other people will just look at it and think it's a nice piece of jewelry. Now, Sophie, another friend of mine, actually has a shop called Readers Society where she creates bookish jewelry. She does necklaces, rings, earrings, and then she also has a couple other accessories that she's added to her shop now, like a tote bag and what's it called? Like a box to put your jewelry in as well. But again, I'll link everything down below so you can check it out if you'd like. So Sophie's based in Glasgow as well, but I'm pretty sure that she ships worldwide, so you'll be able to get a hand of it. If not, there's so many other different shops that also make bookish jewelry. But I quite like Sophie's because they're quite subtle. I've got a butterfly necklace, and then I've also got this other necklace that is based on A Dark Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. And then I've also got a ring, a stag ring, which is inspired by a couple different books, but Shadow and Bone mostly for myself. It's all really cute. Sophie makes lots of different things based on different fandoms, so I'm sure there's something in her shop that you'd be able to find that would suit your friend, family member, significant other as well, depending on what they enjoy. I think one of my favorite things that she has in her shop are these earrings that are based on Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and they're like small like hearts. I think the earrings are called Prince of Hearts earrings, and they're just so cute, and I would love to wear them, but I don't have my ears pierced. So I think those are just a great gift. Like, even if your reader hasn't read the books, I think the earrings in themselves are a cute gift anyway, and something I would wear every single day if I could, but I don't have my ears pierced. So Sophie, if you're watching, please make the earrings into a necklace or a bracelet, because I will buy it as soon as possible, or just get my ears pierced. But you know. Now the final thing that I have on my list of different book lovers gift options is a bit on the pricier side of things, but again, depending on your budget, I think this would be a quite nice gift to get, and that is a book subscription box. If you're not familiar with book subscription boxes, it's essentially a box in which you get a book surrounded by a theme of some sort of the month normally, and then you'll get a couple other items in the box with the book that are either book related or just different things depending on what subscription you get, basically. So I've got 3 book subscription boxes that I can recommend that are based in the UK. I do know that some of these ship internationally, but again, if you're not in the UK, there are other book subscription boxes. I know in the States they have some, but then there's also other countries that I'm sure have their own book subscription boxes. I know also some bookshops actually do book subscription boxes now. Again, there's so many different options out there, but I've got 3 recommendations for you that are all based in the UK. So the first one that I can recommend is Illumicrate, which was created in 2015 by Daphne. Since then, they've expanded quite a lot, and you've probably seen their boxes on Instagram as well. They're quite famous for their yellow box with a big eye on it for Illumicrate. Now, Daphne and Illumicrate's whole motto is books that inspire, and so every single month in the book box you get a hardcover book that's newly released for that month. Normally they collaborate with the author, so you get the book signed, and then they also collaborate with different artists to make a special edition of the book. With the hardback you'll also get a couple of other things. I think it's normally like 4 or 5 different items, but do not quote me on that. Everything from bookmarks to mugs inspired by different books where they've worked with different artists for them, and then you'll get a blanket, jewelry, you'll get lots of different things. So that's one option which I quite enjoy. You can also just do a book only subscription where you essentially only get the exclusive book and not any of the extra items, which obviously will be a bit cheaper because you're only paying for the book. They also do have another bi-monthly book only subscription, which is called Afterlight, which is basically only romance books, which I think is quite fun. So yeah, that's Illumicrate. And then next we've got Fairloot. Now, Fairloot was founded in 2016 by Anissa and Michael. Same concept as with Illumicrate, but Fairloot is mostly YA fantasy. So for each month you'll get a newly released YA fantasy that is, again, special edition. They work with different artists, and then you'll get a couple other items in the box that are surrounded by this monthly theme that they do every single month. Now, I will say with Illumicrate and Fairloot, I do believe their main book subscription box is waitlist only at the moment, because they are quite popular and they only have a limited amount of boxes that they send out every single month. At least with Illumicrate, what you can do is get on the waitlist. I don't exactly know how long the waitlist is at the moment, but you will eventually get off the waitlist. So I think if you do want to actually give a box to the book lover in your life, then that is still an option. You'll just have to let them know that there is a waitlist, but once you're off the waitlist, they will get the next box for that month. Now, the third and final book subscription box I'm going to mention is slightly different from Illumicrate and Fairloot, but still the same concept, and that's Books That Matter. Books That Matter was founded in 2017 by this woman called Molly, and I believe she founded it while she was still at uni. She wanted to create something that was only based around women, and so for each month you will get a new book that is written by a female author, and then you'll also get a couple of different items. They're not often book related as of what I've seen. All these different things that you get with the book are all from female owned brands, which I think is quite cool. I've never personally had a Books That Matter box myself, but from the photos and what I've seen on Instagram, it looks like a really cool subscription box. definitely worth having a look at. Although these book subscription boxes are quite fun, I will say they are a bit on the pricier side. As I've said previously, for Books That Matter, I believe that their book subscription box monthly is £18.50, possibly without shipping, so you'll have to include shipping on top of that. And then Illumicrate is £27 per month, again without shipping, and Fairloo is £27.50, again probably without shipping, but I'd look that up if you're interested. As I've said, all these subscription boxes also do have book only subscriptions, which is definitely an option, which obviously makes the item cheaper, but they'll still get a fun book each month. Because these boxes are quite expensive, one possible option is to actually create a book box yourself. If you know the book that you want to give to your friend, family, significant other, get a box that you have at home, or just get one cheap somewhere, or even just a bag. Put the book in a box and then buy a couple different items, maybe some books jewellery, maybe some bookmarks that you either created or brought from somewhere, the favourite sweets of whoever you're giving it to. Put all of those together and you've basically created your own book box. And that is it for the Book Lovers gift guide. I hope any of my recommendations could be of any help to you to find the perfect gift for the book lovers in your life. I would personally be very happy to get any of these options that I've given you, but at the end of the day, remember that the holiday season is not just about giving gifts and receiving them. It's about spending time with the people that you love. But keeping that in mind, if you do wonder what books, actual physical books, to get the people that you love, and you know what kind of genre they like, but you don't know exactly what book to give them, a video on that will be coming up very soon as well. But until then, happy reading.